the championship, it's a real endurance championship. Every day, it's you do your pre-season, you do your functions. After that, it's just games. It's a test of mental strength of players. And next year you've got Leicester going down as well, and I think they'll recover and be a good side again. And it's a hard league. It's a hard league to get out of. But I think I was with Sam last Friday at the training, and I watched them, and the players really enjoyed Sam's work and enjoyed being round about him. And I think the players that had been there, particularly for a few years, enjoyed get back to basics. I think they enjoyed that kind of hard work, determination, and understanding that not only is it a team game, but you have responsibility yourself to be the best you can. So I watched that. It was interesting watching them working, and then I watched the game on the Sunday, and to a certain extent, they played some decent stuff at times, but lightweight up front. But I've got to say, if you took Harry Kane and stick him at the Leeds team, I'm telling you, it would have been a different ball game, because I watched a masterclass with a striker. I know we're not talking about Harry Kane, but it was a masterclass.
The thing is, sorry mate, the goals he scored, if you took his 30 goals out of Tottenham, they would have gone down.
Oh, but it's just his overall play, big man, as well.
Yeah,
but,
brilliant.
But going back to Leeds, as you're saying that they're prepared. They've been preparing for a while, and I think they know what they've got to do. Speaking to people behind the scenes, they know exactly what they need in this league. But it's an unfortunate time, because there's people there with fantastic contracts, and I've got to say that there are people at Leeds United who will never get contracts like this again in their life. So it's actually hard. But people will say try and move players on.
Well, you can't. Well, they've got too much money. Do you think Brendan Rodgers would be a good fit there, Gordon?
Oh, listen, I think Brendan's a first-class coach. But you need everybody to buy into it. That's what the first thing you've got to get when you go down. Right, okay, who wants to buy into this? And this is when you need a kind of Alex Ferguson moment, when you walk into the dressing room and go, right, okay, you're on social, whatever media, telling people what. Anybody that doesn't want to be here, put their hand up and tell me right now. That's the moment you need at Leeds, because this league tests you. And if you don't want to be there, it'll be obvious. So it's an Alex Ferguson moment when you're going, right, okay, this is it. Who wants to move? Put your hand up. And that's it.
I mean, there are worrying times for Leeds. I mean, the ownership is another issue in itself. Obviously, as we mentioned, they've been relegated to the Championship. There will be players moving on. And within that statement and the particular statement from Sam Allardyce, he spoke at the end there about, I'm not sure taking on this challenge is something I could commit to. Does that sort of also make you think, one, he obviously looks at this as a very, very difficult project for anyone to come into?
Absolutely. And Sam's knowledge is immense on football, absolutely immense. He knows the game, but does he have the drive to take on a dressing room, turn mentality around and work non-stop? And it's hard, it's hard, that drive. If you've not got that as an older manager, please, and if you're not fully committed, then Sam's probably thinking, this might be just a step too far for me. And there's no point in stressing himself at his age, but after such a good career. But also they need a manager who's got to make sure that everybody, there's a clarity. But going back to what Natalie said there, that you're right. Any business, any club, it's from the top downwards. If there's clarity from the top all the way down, then you'll be okay. When you find there's no clarity at any business, or the one at the top sets the standards, then you've got to have trouble.
I think. People think that division, it's games every 3 or 4 days. It takes its toll on the players' legs, but it's got to take its toll on managers as well, right?
Absolutely. As I said to you, I know far more about the game now than I ever did, honestly. But I've not got the fighting anger to go and take dressing rooms on, individuals on, media on. You've got to do that every day, every moment of the day. You've got to be taking somebody on. So maybe Sam's thinking that, and I don't know. Matter of fact, I'm going to be with him tonight, Sam. I'm doing an event with Sam tonight, and I don't know if that's what he's thinking, or maybe he's looked at the dressing room and thought, it's got to take too long. Because sometimes when clubs like that, if you look at Stoke and clubs like Milton, it takes sometimes, because of the contracts, lengthy contracts, it takes 2 or 3 years to get to the dressing room, the mindset that you want. Now maybe Sam's gone, am I really in for 2 or 3 years?
And do you get 2 or 3 years these days?
That's right. That's right. But as you say, with a lot of clubs that look at Stoke, they go down, and because of the wages, the wage structure, it takes 3 or 4 managers in 2 or 3 years to get them back up.
Correct. Brilliant.
Obviously, we were bringing you on to speak about the cup final, but this
there's
Leeds
a cup
story,
final. There's a cup final.
this Leeds story has taken precedence. So, Leeds fans, if you want to give us a call, 03717 223344 is the number to call us on to have your say on this breaking story.
No, don't give me a call. I'm busy this
that's definitely not your number, Gordon, I should stress. But just quickly on the cup final then, Manchester United taking on Manchester City, the first ever Manchester FA Cup final.
Yeah.
What do you think? You know what it's like. You've played at Old Trafford. The talk of 99 and what they achieved winning the treble. What do you think they'll be thinking? Is it they just want to win another cup to make it a double cup success this season, or will it also be we need to stop that treble?
Well, I think, they stop the trebles the first thing. I think what they should do is, I think they should get Sir Alex in, just for the team talk to start with.
Yeah.
He's got enough in him. He's got enough in him just to scare the living daylights out of that dressing room.
Yeah.
No, listen, I'm going to the game. I'm so lucky to be involved to go at the game tomorrow. You've got to see probably the best team in the world at now, and against the best club in the world, arguably along with Real Madrid. So you don't often get these occasions. So it's something. And then on that pitch, you've got to see some of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
How lucky are we tomorrow to be to witness this, and I think that's the thing that's got to make the difference. I think I'm afraid Man United are the good side, but you do not have De Bruyne, Haaland, and these are people that in 50 years' time they'll be talking about in the same classes, or the Cruyffs and things like that, and people like that.
It's not only it's the best players. You're going to see the best players in the world and how to play football together. How the best players in the world play football.
Yeah, in different ways. I think it'll be more passing from Manchester City. Then it's got to be about who has the ball. I know it's an obvious statement. If they have a lot of the ball, Man City, then they've got to go forward. When the ball turn over to Manchester United, they've got to be really brave and keep that ball for 4 passes. Because I think if you can keep 4 passes, you'll get all the way up into their box. But it's keeping the ball when you get it back. But I do think Man United, like people like Fernandes and things like that, can keep the ball. But it's doing it regularly to me. And people say, well, Man United have got wide men that can. Yeah, they've got wide men, but if you've not got the ball, the wide men are used to. They'll end up defending, running back. So it's an interesting thing. The good thing about this game tomorrow, it's all got to be about good players. Good players indeed.